All right, we are back. Let's get started talking about one of the surprising Marvel TV shows that have yet to come out, Hawkeye. Now, going into Hawkeye, there weren't a lot of expectations from me. I felt like it was going to be a subpar show based on the fact that Hawkeye is one of the less popular Avengers alongside Black Widow. But after finishing the show, it is clear that Hawkeye is a very well-rounded character who cares about one thing most of all, his family.
My family. I'll go back to my family. My family. My family?
Now, this show is basically a show that portrays how important family is to all these characters in Hawkeye. I mean, how could you not pick up on that? You know, what else would you use Christmas time for when Christmas is literally one of the holidays that emphasizes the importance of family and bringing people together? The whole thing screams family. You even have Hawkeye, who plays a surrogate father throughout the show to Kate Bishop, a girl who has lost her father. And the two of them go around fighting crime in New York City during Christmas time, a time meant for families with their adopted dog. So if a father or daughter and their pet fighting crime together around Christmas doesn't scream family to you, then I don't know what does. And every main character in this show seems to understand how important their family is to them and the lengths that they will go to protect or avenge their family. Family is so important to people like Clint. He has taken the time to go on a vacation with his kids and spend time with them. He has left the superhero life behind, but unfortunately, it's something that still follows him every day, with people recognizing him and bad guys coming up to fight him. Now, a person like Kate, her family is something that has been very important to her from day one when the first incident with Loki happened in the first Avengers movie. And from there, she decides to become a protector of sorts to protect her family, to protect her mom, the last family that she had. She learns to shoot arrows, she learns karate, she learns a bunch of these things, a bunch of these skill sets so that it will be able to help her protect her mom for when the time comes. And Kate's mom, Eleanor Bishop, just like Kate, also takes the Avengers incident with Loki in New York as a time to step up for her daughter, the last family that she has after her husband has died. And she takes this time to establish herself as a powerful woman with a business and the ability to provide for her daughter, but also she takes risky decisions into who she decides to do business with so that she can establish a good life for her daughter moving forward. Now, these three characters, Kate, Clint, and Eleanor, are people who have had their families threatened in some way. Clint losing his family to the snap, and Eleanor and Kate losing their family, their father, to the New York incident with Loki. And the result of those incidents makes these characters realize how important it is to have their family around them. But there are two characters in the show, Yelena and Maya, who have lost their families, the only people who they consider to be family, and it does something to them that it hasn't done to these other three characters. Yelena and Maya are two characters who have lost family members, with Maya's father being killed by Clint and Yelena losing her sister. And these two characters have sought out revenge for the death of their family members because they know it was somebody who has caused it. While Yelena does have obscure information into who killed her sister, she still wants retribution for her sister, somebody who she was close with, because at the end of the day, she is looking for some type of way to fill that void that her sister had filled for so long. And the same can be said with Maya, who has lost her father to Clint and needs some sort of way to fill that void that her father's presence had filled for such a long time, and him being taken away from her. These two characters feel like revenge is the one way to fill up that void for them. And this show also emphasizes on revenge not being the way for those two characters. But when we look at these five characters in total, we realize that family is something that is very important to all of them, and that they will go to any risk, any length to protect their families. But why would these people go to any length to protect their families? I mean, I love my family, I would say, as much, maybe even more than any of these characters in this show. But you don't see me learning archery, learning karate, or, making deals with mobsters just to know that I will be able to protect my family. Well, none of you know me, but maybe I actually am doing all those things. But, I don't see any regular person going to these these lengths to protect their family. So why are these people going to such lengths? And they're going to these lengths and taking these huge risks because their families have been threatened by some external force in some way or another. And the fact that their families have been threatened before, these characters want to do all that they can do to protect their families. They're scared of losing these people who are so close to them. The risk of losing these family members has made these characters realize how vulnerable their loved ones are. That these 5 characters, if they lose their family members, well, in the case of these 3 characters, if they lose their family members, they know that if they lose all the family that they have left, they wouldn't want to know what it's like to be alone. And we can see what it will be like to be alone because through the eyes of Maya and Yelena, who have lost family members, the only family members that they hold close to their heart, we see how hell-bent on revenge that these characters would become. We even see it become true when Clint becomes Ronin after losing his family members to the snap. Although he's not hell-bent in looking for revenge like Maya or Yelena is, when we see Clint as Ronin during Endgame, he just devoted his life to destroying all crime. He doesn't care anymore who he kills. He slaughters them left and right until he gets his family back, and he decides that it's time to put down this whole superhero thing. And while giving up the whole superhero thing, he realizes how he has to cherish each moment that he has with his family. So we can see how when Clint gains his family back, he puts more emphasis on spending time with them and protecting them from anything that will take them away from him again. Now, the emphasis on quality time with family members can't be said for Kate and her mom because they don't see eye to eye. But just because they don't see eye to eye doesn't mean they don't want to protect each other. This is why Kate and her mom take different paths when trying to protect each other. Even though they don't see eye to eye, they still love each other at the end of the day. And this emphasis of family members can also be seen in Maya and Elena, because both of them who have lost a family member realize how much that family member meant to them. And they're willing to do anything to correct the wrong that was done to them and their family members, even if that means killing the person who killed their loved one. So everybody, that's all that I have for you today. Thank you all so much for tuning into another video. Let me know what videos you would like to hear about next. I have a bunch of ideas coming up, but if you have a particular anime or TV show or movie in mind that you would like me to discuss, please let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, everybody, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.